word, bro?
Man, what's the deal, man? What's good with you?
All right, man. I feel like I've been seeing you a lot, bro. I see you a lot with a lot of different artists, a lot of different people, a lot of different big people in the music industry and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a lot of people that's like me that always just wonder, like, what's your role within all of this music shit? Who is Black Card Steve? Or what you like? What do you do within like the whole topic of music? Like, what do you do within that
Man,
whole
I'm
lane?
I'm like a behind the scenes guy. You know what I'm saying? I connect dots. You know what I'm saying? I take people from the studio to the main stage. You know what I mean? I'm like one of them go-to guys. You know what I'm saying? Like you could hit me about anything music and we could get it done. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so have you ever been a rapper? Like, have you ever tried your hand at like with the music?
Man, hell yeah. I started off rapping. I think that's how everybody started off. You know what I'm saying? I started off rapping, and then that's how I got into the engineering and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? After I was rapping, and then back then, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't as easy to just become a rapper. You couldn't just snap your fingers and become a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So we had to literally I had to be a part of a DJ pool to get instrumentals, you know what I'm saying? So I could have something to rap on. So I had turntables, I started DJing, and then from DJing, I started recording, you know what I'm saying, recording myself first.
So what kind of like push like you rapping to the back? Like what brought you just becoming like the behind the scenes guy, the dot connector for real?
Really, it was just my network, and really, I fell in love with like the nerdy side of like engineering and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when I got to that point, it's like all my partners. If you was my partner, you had to either rap, sing, you had to do something because I wasn't playing no video games. I wasn't doing nothing like that. So it's just like if we was chilling in some kind of way, it was music based. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it all started. You know what I mean? That's really how it started, and from there, it's just like being in the studio with people. You start picking up game. Who does what? Who gets paid what? You know what I'm saying? And who gets to travel? Who gets to have certain perks? You know what I mean? And I just picked it up from there and just started like, okay, this is the type of person that I am. Let me go ahead and step into this role of
So you
being
feel
to
like
go a go to.
yeah, so you just feel like it fit more like a who you are type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a transition. It was just me not knowing that, you know what I'm saying, that people like me were needed. You know what I mean?
But then you like with you being like the behind the scenes guy, like is it still like a certain is it like a certain do you feel like it's a certain image you gotta keep up with being that
Nah,
type of person?
not really an image. I personally don't really worry too much about a image. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in front of too many cameras or nothing like that. But when you show up places, you want to show up like you mean business. You know what I'm saying? So people can take you serious. You know what I mean? But as far as a overall image of, nah, I ain't really worried about that.
How you say being taken serious? So like speak on like just the upcoming process and becoming somebody that is being taken serious and stuff like that. Like what was that whole process like becoming somebody and making a name for yourself? Having to just like stamp what you're able to do within this lane.
I think the best thing that worked for me is I've always been the type of person that if I say something, I mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I tell you I could do this, I can actually do it and I can actually get it done. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people that's trying to come up in the game try to hurry up and say, I can do this, I know this person, but they really don't have those relationships and they really can't connect the dots properly and it falls through. And it only takes it only takes one thing falling through for somebody to lose faith in you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, it only take that one time you hit somebody or whatever, they hit you for something and you can't do it after you said you could do it. They might not ever call you again about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just kind of how it is.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning as far as like before the music came into play. Like, who was Black Card Steve, or what part of the city you came from, grew up on, and like how was your upbringing as far as like did you hear music a lot growing up?
Oh man, Black Card Steve O, man, originally North Side Steve O, for those that don't know, if y'all been around since MySpace days and all of that. My area of the North is Greens Point, 1960 Acres Home, 249, Bama, North Houston. That's all my area where I was raised at. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, yeah, I heard a lot of music. You know what I'm saying? My grandma on my dad's side. First of all, my dad is from Brooklyn, New York. My mom is from uh, Houston. You know what I'm saying? They grew up in Trinity Garden. You know what I mean? I'm really like the first Blue Ivy. You know what I'm saying? So my dad used to DJ. My grandma in New York was a pianist. My mom loved music. You know what I'm saying? And my dad is 10 years younger than my mom. You know what I mean? So the types of music that I would listen to when I was with my dad was different than the types of music that I would listen to with my mom. You know what I mean? So I think all of that just helped me build my ear, you know what I'm saying, over time. You know what I mean? Like, but music has always been big to me, you know what I mean? I never really got a whole bunch of different stuff like Christmas and stuff like that, you know what I mean? I knew that, you know, for my birthday, I ain't gonna get too much, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm gonna ask for something, I'm gonna ask for like a little piece of equipment or something, you know what I'm saying? That way I could just add it to put it in the room, you know what I mean? And that's really how I built my first studio, you know what I'm saying? Just gradually over time, you know what I'm saying, saving up money, asking for certain shit, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. It's like we ain't had no bunch of money, but I knew I could have at least probably like one, you know, $500 thing a year. You know what I'm saying? And I could just kind of keep building like that. After that, it was on me.
So what you say your pops being from like Brooklyn? Did he ever bring like was he listening to like a lot of Brooklyn artists or New York artists or something like that?
My pop's really heavy on like reggae and stuff,
Okay.
man. Yeah, one of the memories I always listen to or I always think about is listening to Beanie Man. You know what I'm saying? That Who Am I? You know what I'm saying? We used to. He had a Beamer, and the song was about a Beamer. And we used to ride in New York. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that song.
So what was that like? Just having the experience of like Houston and New York
Uh,
growing up.
it was different because it's like left and right. You know what I'm saying? It's left and right. New York is a tough terrain. You know what I'm saying? When you used to Houston, you know what I'm saying, as far as how close everything is and stuff like that. So it was different. You know what I'm saying? We definitely rode more public transportation, you know what I'm saying, like trains and buses and stuff like that. Uh, Even, you know, the way people play outside is different, you know what I'm saying? Like my first time playing basketball in a crate was in New York. That wasn't in Houston. You know what I'm saying? That was some New York shit that I seen first, you know what I mean? So it was definitely different.
Was there ever like certain trends that was going on out there when you would visit out there that you would ever try to like bring back to Houston in your own type of way type shit?
I don't know if it was a trend or not, but one time I tried to get a pigtail, you know, a little dread, you know what I'm saying, in the back, you know what I mean? And it was supposed to lock up and shit. And when I came, so I went to my dad's for the summer. And when I came back, shit, my mama had that motherfucker cut off, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was a trend or what, but I was mad about that, man.
All right, so but we're gonna get into the album some more. But so far from like what I heard, you got people that can actually rap on there.
Yeah,
Basically.
for sure.
So what's your process as far as like making these projects and your process as far as like finding different artists so that you can take to different levels in their career?
Man, really, my process is I try to make music that I would want to listen to. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody can be a rapper nowadays, you know what I'm saying? But everybody doesn't make music that I can listen to. You know what I'm saying? So I do it kind of like as a resume to show, okay, hey, if I'm involved with your music making process, this is how it can come out. You know what I'm saying? From the recording to the mixing to everything, like we go through the full process. You know what I mean? And really between like the artists that I work with is really just really my homies that I got access to. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got more access to other people. You know what I mean? But I don't reach out to everybody for every song because it doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that this person fits on the song with this person and with this producer and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I try to make sure everything is authentic, man. And we do pretty much 90% of everything in person. We ain't sending a bunch of sessions. We ain't doing that. It's like come in so we can really work. You know what I mean? That's how I like to do it. You know what I mean? And the way I was raised, it's like when we get in the studio, we work. The music stay in the studio. You know what I'm saying? The music stay in the studio, and then when the music is done, that's when we release it. You know what I mean?
All right, but so let's speak on the new project, Longevity.
Yes, sir.
How did that project come about? What was the process with that one, and like how long ago did you start planning it for real?
Man, so longevity is a mixture between um older songs and newer songs that I had to spice up, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to drop a project uh before I had my baby, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I had a timeline of, all right, this is when the baby's due. Let me figure out, you know, what songs I have. Let me figure out what sessions I can have so I can get something completed before this date. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. We were a success with that. You know what I'm saying? But to me, longevity is just like the goal that everybody should have. You know what I mean? I've been doing this over 20 years, you know what I'm saying? And that's a testament to longevity, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a guy that somebody could call and I'm gonna try to sell them life insurance or I'm gonna try to sell them electricity or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm very consistent with what I do, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a part of who I am and why I'm able to be, you know, had a success that I've had is because of that consistency. You know what I mean? And I just think longevity is something that everybody should want. You know what I'm saying? To be able to get in the game and stay in the game.
As far as the track list and the track list number, like how did you go about picking like the track list number and like the track
You
list
talking
and
about
the
like the
name?
sequence?
Yeah, the sequence.
Man, what I do, me personally, how I do every sequence that I'm a part of is I listen to the songs, I listen to the feel of the song, whether it's the BPM, whether it makes you feel happy, whether it makes you feel sad, et cetera, et cetera. And I just make notes on each song. You know what I'm saying? Like this song is this type of record, this song is this type of record. You know what I mean? And on a project, I make music that you can listen to the project straight through. You know what I mean? So it's like when you listening to this project from the top to bottom, how would you want to go through these stories? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't want to have too many sad songs in a row. You don't want to have too many crunk songs in a row. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And then you want the BPM so they can translate properly. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I did. It's like this is how I wanted to start it, and from here I know we got to take the tempo up a little bit, and then we can bring it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of my process on that. You know what I mean? That's a nobody asked me that question yet, so that's dope.
All right, so as far as the songs, like, so do you produce?
Yeah, I produce. I produce. I can officially say I produce. I only produce one record on there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm more of a collaborator.
Go about How do you go about putting projects together and not being an actual artist? Like, how would you explain that, like in simple terms, for somebody that's outside of the music, but they into the music?
The best way that I can explain it is think of me as Kirk Franklin. Think of me as DJ Khaled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Think of me as a DJ Clue. You know what I'm saying? Like think of me as the A&R behind things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's really me A&Ring a project, but me as the artist. But it's a collaboration because I'm not on there rapping. Well, I am on there rapping on one song, but I'm not on there to showcase my rap skills. I'm on here to showcase my skills as being a chef.
All right, so what keep you, like? Do you ever have, like you say you on there for one song, but like what keep you from not wanting to get in that mode again, like bringing out that rap side? I feel like, do you ever be having like moments where you feel like you want to just be an artist?
I don't never want to just be an artist, but I do have those moments when I want to make music and get behind the mic. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's just a different way of expression. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I could get in the studio with artists, you know what I'm saying, but they might not be able to express it the way that I can express it. You know what I'm saying? So I rather write my own, or you know what I'm saying, say my own sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to always have that in me because that's where I came from. You know what I mean? But other than that, as far as being an all out artist, no, for me it's just kind of like therapy. You know what I mean? And sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't. You know what I mean? But that's my main thing. You know what I mean? It's
So,
just using it as therapy.
so with the project longevity, do you feel like this is what represents you? Like, how would you explain? Like, do you feel like the project you built, you sequence the project to represent you best way it could?
100%. So like my the last project before longevity was called Lead by Example. You know what I mean? And I think that's pretty much self-explanatory. You know what I'm saying? And now this one is called longevity. So um, I think it represents me well because, like I said, I've been doing this for so long. That's the goal, And I think every song on there, you know, my presence can be felt in the record. You know what I mean?
So how do you go about, like, as far as like the artist actually like making a song? Like, do you have a part in like them writing a song?
Yeah, I got a part in it like a motherfucker.
So like, say an artist bring you back a song for like this certain beat or whatever it
Ain't
is,
no bringing me back a song.
y'all all together.
We all
Yeah.
together. Ain't no bringing me back. I'm not emailing no beats
So
or nothing.
it's fully like hands on.
Yeah. I see what producer I want to work with, see what kind of songs I need, what ideas I have. Then I call the producers and say, hey, this is what kind of record I'm kind of going for. They cook up something, you know what I'm saying, in person, and then I'll get with the artist, and I had the artist come in and be like, look, this is the type of record that we doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the guy to get in the studio with if you want to just do what you want to do on a record. You know what I'm saying? Because you might do something that I might not agree with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might do something that I feel isn't best for the song. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm about. I don't care about, you know, us being friends and homies and shit like that. If you do some whack shit on the song, I'm gonna take you off. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily saying that what you did was whack. It just didn't fit, or you might not have been on topic, or your voice that day wasn't the right tone. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of factors into that, but that's really how I am in the studio. You know what I'm saying? I'm real hands on from the production and telling the producers, like, you know, this sound isn't it, this isn't it, this isn't it. Picking the topics and really curating what direction the song goes in.
So that's something you let be known, like when you make the call for artists to be on the project. Is that something you say, like, I'm gonna be hands, like, I'm gonna be in the studio, I'm gonna be on you, I'm gonna let you know like what's trash?
I think that part of it right now,
so it's understood.
It's kind of understood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when I work with newer artists, when they come to the studio and they've been around the other artists that I work with, they're like, nah, this ain't that. You can't just come and lay a verse and you think that's it. You know what I'm saying? You can't give me no throwaway bars. You heard some throwaway bars on the project?
Not so far.
Shit.
That's why I said it sounds like you. It's like I can tell it's you. You got like rappers that can actually rap for real on there. It's a lot of people that's rapping right now in the city. It's a lot of younger artists.
Yeah.
So like, do you ever like see yourself doing a project with like the younger?
I would love to. I would love to do a project or something with the younger artists. You know what I'm saying? I would love to. You know what I'm saying? If they willing to listen and willing to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? When I was in the studio with the OGs and the older people, you know what I'm saying? I had to sit there and learn their way. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously what they was doing was better than what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And just picking up those little pieces of game. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that's hungry to pick up some pieces of game, I'm with it. If you one of them people that's like, you know, you doing you, then you just got to do you, because doing you ain't got nothing to do with me.
How you feeling about the Houston music scene right now?
I like it. I feel like it's a lot of people with like some motion and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, me personally, I would love for everybody to kind of go back to like the older sound instead of kind of like the trappy stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me and my taste. You know what I mean? But overall, I like the motion. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hop online, I see, you know, different little artists doing things. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, it's not about how many different artists that Houston could produce. It's about the quality. You know what I mean? So I want to be a part of the quality.
What was your process like? What was the song on the project that took the longest to like create for real, process wise?
That took the longest to create?
Yeah, beat into just song and the whole lyrics and all of that, and the mix and the mastering, all of, like, what took the longest to like perfect for real?
Get it how I live. Wow. That record, just because that was one of the oldest records, and that's one of the records that I actually rapped on. You know what I'm saying? So I changed my verse. I actually had different people on that song also. It's like 3 or 4 extra verses that I could literally swap out on that song. But But yeah, even from the mixing standpoint, Bruce mixed it, but Marlon Denby made that beat, and he's a real producer, so it's not just no simple beat. You know what I'm saying? That's like OG Southern Fried shit. You know what I'm saying? So that song probably took the longest to be honest.
I don't know how long ago this was when I used to see you get on live and do like the sessions where y'all was in the studio and y'all putting like beats together, whether it was like the guitar, y'all on the guitar and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So like
yeah.
how did those sessions be? Like how do you go about putting those sessions together? Like what type of sessions do those be?
Man, it's really the same process. The only thing that's really different when you bring a live musician in is just you got to let them get everything out of them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like even though you may have the structure of the beat, you may have the idea of the beat. Anytime you're working with somebody creative, you got to let them express their self. You know what I'm saying? Even though you give them direction, you got to let them express themselves musically. You know what I'm saying? So once they express themselves, they'll find something, and then that's kind of where I come in and be like, okay, I like this, I don't like this and that, this and that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really the same thing if you're working with a rapper. You know what I'm saying, or a singer or whatever.
Right, man. So like I said, you be around a lot of people, bro. And it's like some of the people I see you with be the like rapper like Mob Ties, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So like how did that relationship come about? And no relationships within that count.
Really, man, that relationship is, that's really some shit that I was really born into. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, my mom is from Trinity Gardens. You know what I'm saying? My mom went to school. You know what I'm saying, with the old man uncles and shit. You know what I'm saying? My older brother. You know what I'm saying? He been down with a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, it was inevitable, you know what I'm saying, because of my positioning, you know what I'm saying, on multiple sides of the spectrum, you know what I mean. So I'm not a I'm not a person that just came around, you know what I'm saying. When I say it's family, it's family.
I seen in your bio you got Grammy nominated. How did it like for Grammy nominated engineer?
Hmm.
So how did that feel to like see like what you did and what you worked on and was a part of that got that much recognition?
Man, it's it's like a catch-22 because what I worked on was the Two Chainz album, but I didn't work on the whole album. You know what I'm saying? We just did a record on the album. So Scarface has a song on the album. You know what I'm saying? And that album got Grammy nominated. That's how I became Grammy nominated. You know what I'm saying? So I really kind of had imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, I'm Grammy nominated. They recognizing me for being Grammy nominated, but it's like I didn't work on the full album. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
what's the difference though? Like as far as just like one song versus the whole.
there's no difference in the recognition. You know what I'm saying? But I just as an engineer, I wanted to do more. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it feels better as an engineer or even a producer, you know what I'm saying, to let me do the whole project. Let me have my hands in the whole project that's Grammy nominated or wins a Grammy than just one record. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. But it's definitely a big feat. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a success. I don't take it for granted. I just wish that it was more of me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's important for artists to do? Like just from your view, like your point of view of it, as far as to the artist, do you feel like an artist should stick with one engineer throughout a project, or how you feel about stuff like that?
I think that you definitely should stick with a core group of creatives, whether it's engineers, producers, or whatever, because you're trying to find a sound. You know what I'm saying? If you keep going to different studios, working with different producers, and they don't understand the sound, then it's gonna be hard for it to be cohesive. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you're working on a project, it needs to be cohesive. If you're one of these people that only work on singles, dropping singles, then your sound could be here one day and here one day. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. But if you're working on something, and you're trying to build something, your fans are gonna be looking for this certain sound. You know what I mean? So you have to know how to replicate that sound.
What's been the reception of the project so far? Like the feedback.
I got nothing but good feedback. I've actually had people send me screenshots that they bought the album on iTunes. I didn't even know you could still
do that.
buy
Yeah,
albums on
yeah.
iTunes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the people that's doing that, man, I really appreciate it. And I ain't got nothing but good feedback. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the only feedback maybe is like the project a little short. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But other than that, everything's been good. Everybody's like, man, this song. Everybody like Welcome to the Step Show. Everybody like Original Gangster. Everybody like Keep Swinging. Those are the ones that's kind of really standing out. You know what I'm saying? And the older people who really understand certain things, you know what I'm saying, when they hear that outro with T. Rogers, they like, okay, yeah, you did something with that.
So what you consider this project? Is it an album, mixtape?
I call it an EP.
Uh,
So not necessarily an album. It's shorter, but it's like a collaborative EP. So I say an EP for
do you
sure.
feel like the term albums, mixtape, EPs, all that matter these days, or do you feel like a lot of artists treat it the same?
I don't think there's no such thing as a real mixtape right now.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because when I was coming up, a mixtape, you would think about Swisher House. You know what I'm saying? Where you have the DJ doing this thing, and then you have artists coming in on other people's beats. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think of when I hear mixtapes. I don't hear that going on no more. Right now, it's independent albums and independent EPs, stuff like that. Projects. Now people aren't even saying albums and EPs. They just saying this is my new project, whatever the hell that means.
All right, but so how do you feel about like where you are right now, success wise? How do you feel about where you are success wise right now?
I feel like I got a long way to go. I feel like I'm still climbing. I feel like I took the stairs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still taking the stairs, but I'm blessed to know that I got some good legs on me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the 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 top is still above me. You know what I mean? That's really what I feel like because just how my career's been going and everything, man. I'm blessed to be in a position that I am.
What's been like what like as far as like the journey and you know just staying motivated with all of this? Like have there ever been any times where you felt like man this shit not gonna work or is it just taking too long?
Yeah, you're gonna feel like that with anything, but especially with this music, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where I done went and got regular jobs and everything, you know what I'm saying? Just to be like, damn, let me try something else. You know what I'm saying? Like I even when I had regular jobs, I didn't like put that into the forefront, you know what I'm saying? But I've had regular jobs to try to make sure that I could keep things going while I'm still pursuing the music. You know what I mean?
What what brought you out of them like the mindsets of like feeling like it's just not gonna work and having to get a job? Like what kept your mind like focused on the goal for real?
Um, shit, I've only had one goal, and that was to make a living off music. You know what I'm saying? That's always been the goal. You know what I mean? But in life, you got to kind of go with the opportunities as they come. You know what I'm saying? And when you grow up, knowing that you're a certain type of person, you know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are workers. They like waking up, going to a specific job. They like that routine stuff. That's not me. That's never been me. I've always been somebody that had my best success by creating it. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like it's important for artists to? Because I feel like a lot of artists try to like hide the fact that they just need help or need a job or need like. So do you feel like it's important for like people to just like what would be your message or your message to like a artist that's feeling like they need the job but don't they don't want that look or they don't want that like I don't know it's like a certain thing to be talked about with people having jobs for these days.
Man, having a job ain't nothing wrong with it, man. You need money to push your music. You need money to break bread with people. You need money. You know what I'm saying? And a job is the best way to do it. To be real, you know what I'm saying? You get caught up in a lot of other stuff trying to make some money fast, and then you can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing in jail. You know what I mean? So if your parents ain't got no money, if you ain't got no money like that, then you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Use that job to back your finance, your to back your whatever it is, your label, your artist career. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be smart about it. You know what I mean? So I suggest shit, ain't nothing wrong with getting a job. You just got to know that the job is a means to an end. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have a job, now you may be doing 30 hours a week for somebody else. So you also got to put that same time in for yourself. And I think that's where a lot of artists fuck up at, is they start putting more work in for the man than they are for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But overall, the job is a good thing, man. Anybody tell you getting some money wrong, they wrong.
What's your end goal with all of this? Like, where do you see this? Like, what do you want this to be at? Like, within the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, for real?
Man, I would love to be, build myself up to some type of executive position. You know what I'm saying? I prefer it to be a position that I create myself. You know what I'm saying? But that's the ultimate goal. I have the touring side of what I do also. You know what I mean? So uh, it's been good. I've been able to travel across the world, across America. You know what I'm saying? And see a lot of things. You know what I mean? So um, I can't lie. Some type of executive position. You know what I'm saying? What position? I'm not sure yet. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's get into like being a tour manager. Like, what? Like, describe being a tour manager. What is the position of, like, what's the job of a tour manager, for real?
You got kids?
No.
The best way I could describe it is babysitting. You're a professional babysitter for grown ups. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell them where to be places. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell them what not to do. You got to tell them what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Um, and it gets complicated the more people that are involved. But that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? You're an overseer. You're a watcher. You are a protector. You know what I mean? It's your job to make sure everything goes right and that everybody has what they need to have.
What's one of like what's a crazy, like, a funny story that you can give us from like one of your tours that you done been a part of?
A crazy or funny story. I don't know. I don't know. I done had all type of crazy shit happen, but one of the craziest things, you know what I'm saying, that made me think fast is I was on one tour. It was a sprinter tour, and the sprinter broke down. And we were in the middle of nowhere, and I had to make a decision like right then whether to send everybody to the next city, buy flights and send everybody to the next city, you know what I'm saying, so we can make the shows, so they can make the show, you know what I'm saying, or have everybody stay. And I decided to go ahead and book them flights and get them out of there, you know what I'm saying, and I stayed and dealt with the sprinter, you know what I mean, because on the road, the number one rule is don't miss the show, because if you miss the show, you're missing the money.
So what would you say your favorite way to travel is, as far as like for tours?
My favorite way to travel,
Yeah.
I like fly dates.
Mm.
I like fly dates, but if I'm on a real tour, it's gonna be bust. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. You could give me the bottom bunk. You know what I'm saying? Sit me right there by the wheel, and I'm gonna go to sleep. You know what I mean?
What would you say the best city was? Like, what was the best tour? Or what was the best tour you done been on so far? Been a part of so far?
I ain't gonna answer none of them questions,
Yeah.
man. I can't answer that question. But the cities I like, of course, is probably New York,
Mm.
DC, and Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And LA. You know what I mean? But I love being, around them markets.
All right, bro. So I've been having a lot of artists, like a lot of younger artists that's been having, like, they brought up the older OGs in the game and the rappers and stuff like that, not helping out the younger artists and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about like that topic that come up? Like, I feel like it come up every now and then, every other year it come up.
I think we got to figure out what kind of help they're asking for.
Mm.
What do you know? What kind of help they're asking for?
They be feeling like a lot of artists that they can come back and just like grab an artist, not grab an artist, but like get the artist and run with them and just push them and just take them to where they feel like whatever they feel like is the next level they can go to.
I mean, I think a lot of artists that are older, uh, the styles don't even match.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The styles don't even match as far as sonically. You know what I'm saying? To even do records with. You know what I'm saying? I feel like uh, everybody can do better. You know what I'm saying? But if we're gonna sit around and and complain, you know what I'm saying, then we could be using that energy to do something else. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, if the younger generation says what they actually need help with, you know what I'm saying, I think the older generation will help with that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, as long as what they need isn't a handout, you know what I'm saying? Because the older generation didn't get no handouts, you know what I'm saying? So it's like somebody that worked for something and somebody that begged for something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, but at the same time, you got to learn how to earn your keep. You know what I'm saying? And that's not like to gatekeep or nothing, but it's just like that's probably how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So if you need something specifically, say what you need specifically. Don't complain about, hey, you not taking me on tour with you, or you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that shit don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Artists, older artists with younger artists on one tour, there's not a lot of things that'll make sense out of that. You know what I'm saying? As far as fan base and stuff like that, because a lot of the youngsters ain't listening to the old people as far as musically. You know what I mean? So certain things don't mix, and I don't think people take that into consideration.
All right, so I know you've been like you say you've been in this over 20 years, and over time it's been a lot of different ways, marketing wise, promo wise, all that you gotta just push the music out there. Like you know, it's been times where you had to like back then like we had to set it out the trunk and all that type of stuff. So like, how
Mm-hmm.
you feel about like just the change of like marketing of the music and all of that these days that's going on right now?
I I think with the internet you should be able to make you some money. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about how you use it. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, we could only be in one spot at a time. You know what I'm saying? But we had word of mouth. You know what I mean? So if you could be one spot at a time, you could have word of mouth, you could do something, right? Nowadays with the internet, you have less word of mouth because it's like I think people ain't talking as much about artists or anything now because they got the internet. You know what I'm saying? So, but the internet is a very powerful tool, man, and I think it's enough money for everybody to make it with the internet. You know what I mean? Because you could really reach people and have a fan base somewhere else in the world. You know what I'm saying? Without never having to go there. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that's the blessing about the internet. But I think it also makes people lazy. You know what I mean? I think some artists, even though they have the internet, they still want to feel like they're doing something in the city that they're in. And I think that's a disconnect. You know what I'm saying? Like if I got fans in Arkansas, and I ain't never been to Arkansas, but I'm successful. You know what I'm saying? Who cares if you know what I'm saying? If where I'm at recognizes me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I get the whole thing from people saying that get your home city first and shit like that. But sometimes you gotta use that internet, or you gotta go somewhere else and build it up. You know what I mean? And then come back and get your city. Because one thing is, if you're from the city, you're from here. Can't nobody change that. You know what I mean? So
Is that how you went about it though? Like, how do you feel like the city like was said like took you in as far as like the music? Like, do you feel like you got us like got Houston early on?
yeah, I got out of Houston super early, but that's just because of my network. You know what I'm saying? Like even I used to work at Mad Studios, Corey Moe and Mike Moe. You know what I'm saying? And I used to fly to Atlanta every Monday and fly back every Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was flying out there to work in the studio, then fly back to Houston. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like I was able to do things that other people weren't able to do, but it's because I had people in my life like the Mike Modes and the Corey Modes who were older than me that would give me yang. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm about to do this. If you do this, I could take you with me. You know what I'm saying? So there are people like that in the world. You know what I'm saying? That take people with you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to make yourself available, be able to listen, and be able to learn. And you got to be trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people won't. A lot of people want these. They want these favors, but they don't want to. They don't want to ask themselves, are they eligible for these favors? If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying. So, but any real older homie, big homie, OG, whatever you want to call them, when they see a youngster that's really trying to do something, they're gonna point them in the right direction. I've never seen it happen no other way. You know what I mean? In my whole life, I've never seen it happen no other way.
So early on with this year, when the year started, for a lot of the talk about the Houston drill stuff had started up that was going on. So how you feel about this Houston drill scene that's becoming a thing right now within Houston?
Um, that's not really my world. You know what I'm saying? When I think drill, I think Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really my world. I think when we started doing that type of music, we blurred the lines between, Chicago and Houston. Like who are we? You know what I'm saying? And even though there's some good artists that make music, but it's like, what's our identity? You know what I'm saying? And Houston has never been a drill city, just in the historic part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's never been a drill city. So it's like, if we've never been a drill city, now we're doing drill. Are we being who we are? Are we being true to who we are?
You know, do you feel like we have our own sound right now? Like how we had like the chopping school, like we had like you know what a Houston sound like, what a Houston rapper sounded like when you just able to say Paul Wall or something like that. You knew he was a Houston rapper. Like, do you feel like we have a sound right now?
I feel like our sound is still that sound. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our sound didn't necessarily change. I think people just started doing different things, but that doesn't mean that's our sound now, because nobody adapted to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the world didn't adapt to it. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if people outside of Houston said, damn, that's Houston drill. If you could identify Houston drill separate from another type of drill, then you might got something. But only people that's calling this Houston drill to me that I've seen is Houston motherfuckers. So,
all right, man. So when somebody listens to Longevity, like by the time they get to the last track, like what do you want them to take from the project or get from the project?
I want them to get that I tried to hit every emotion. You know what I'm saying? That I tried to give them some player stuff, some struggle stuff, some turn up stuff, and I tried to give, that loyalty, and I gave you some game, all in one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want them to get from that. You know what I mean? Just in life, man, my goal is to be well-rounded. So anytime I put out a project, I just think that it needs to be well-rounded, and I think that's what I did with Longevity. But I will say this, the only thing I think I'm missing, I would say, on the Longevity project is like a song for your mama. You know what I'm saying? That's what I didn't have on there. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to add anything, it would be a song for your mama.
How you feel about deluxe albums right now? I feel like deluxe became like a more popular thing over time. Within the last couple of years, like putting out a deluxe album became a more popular thing. That's why like everybody trying to do a deluxe. How you feel about doing deluxe and stuff like that?
I think it's a good way to push your album sales. But we from Houston. You got to understand, we came from dropping double disc. You know what I'm saying? We used to drop the regular and the chop version at the same time. We got away from that. You know what I'm saying? We not servicing the same fans anymore. You know what I mean? So a deluxe is cool. Add some songs, take some songs off. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I wish Houston culture, I wish we start dropping the album and then dropping the chopped either at the same time or at least close after that. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the length between projects though, as far as like your projects?
Like man, I ain't got no, back in the day, people used to say, man, I would do an album every 2 years and stuff like that. And nah, it ain't like that with me, man, because I'm more of the A&R, you know what I'm saying? It's more of just a resume for me, man. I'm not even making music to be a superstar or something like that. It's just like, hey, man, this is what I can do. This is what it's supposed to sound like, you know what I'm saying? So it's really just whenever I get in that mode, you know what I mean? It ain't no timeline, man. It's just, man, when I get that feeling, man, I get to making them phone calls, hey, we in the studio tonight, you know what I'm saying? And luckily, man, the artists that I mess with, man, they trust me enough they trust my vision when it comes to making music and stuff, you know what I mean? So they show up, you know what I mean? And give me some of their best work.
So as far as the project, do you ever find yourself like pitching it to other people that could be in higher positions? Like you say, you want to be an executive one day. So it's like, do you try to like push the album out there to like let people see what you able to do for real?
Nah, I don't. The reason I don't is because when you shop it like that, it's like you asking for something. Like you need something. I don't need nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm perfectly content with how it's going and how it's been going on the music side. You know what I'm saying? Now if somebody comes in from the outside and be like, hey, bam, cool. But I'm not shopping nothing towards nobody. I'm not trying to get nothing placed as far as my personal music. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just drop it and show that it can be done. Because you got artists that record a lot and stuff, and they don't never drop. You know what I'm saying? So when you see me coming, it's like, damn, he ain't even no artist like that, and he dropping music. Like, what's your excuse? You know what I'm saying? So I just be trying to be a little motivation, and that's it. Give you something to listen to that's actually jamming from the beginning to the end. You know what I mean?
How you feel about artists that hold their music or feel like they scared to release their music just because of what they thinking the reception might be?
Shit, I don't know. Shit, if they don't like it, shit, fuck it. You know, if you don't like your own music you make it, keep it. You know what I'm saying? But if you like it, somebody else might like it. You know what I mean? But I think you got to fall in love with your music first before you give it to the world. You know what I mean? Because as long as you love it, it don't matter what the world say. You know, that's what I think. But I want you to when you listen back to my project, I want you to listen to it, and I want you to text me and tell me how many people died when you listening to my project. Do you understand the question? Like when you listen to music now, I could turn on a song right now and 2, 3, 4 people gonna die in one verse. I done shot this nigga, I got this gun, I got this gun. Listen to my project and tell me how many people died. That's all I want you to do, man. It's okay to make good music without killing motherfuckers, man. And you ain't gotta kill everybody. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all right, man. Music's supposed to make you feel something, man. Feel good. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to make you want to do something, man. But if all the music you make and make a nigga want to go kill somebody, man, shit, man, you gotta think about that shit.
All right, man. So like you say, man, you've been doing your thing for over 20 years, bro. You've been grinding. People been seeing you on different type of scenes with different tours and all that. You Grammy-nominated. You got a lot going on right now. Like you say, you still not where you want to be for real, but you somewhere. So like for everybody that's been supporting you on your journey so far, what would you say to them right now?
Man, I appreciate everybody, man, that's contributed, man, to anything that I've asked them to, that supported me, man. I get support from people that I wouldn't even, that I don't even imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like people that reach out, people that, man, say, hey, man, I'm proud of you, you know what I'm saying? That mean the world to me, man. So I appreciate everybody, man, that really supports me, man. It's big, and I hope I can support y'all in some kind of way, you know what I mean? Like, I want the love to be reciprocal, you know what I mean? So that's it, man.
Every new artist coming up gotta tap in, bust down. You gonna get out there quick.